There are times that you will be asked to find the L.C.M and the H.C.F of numbers containing letters. So sometimes we don't deal with numbers alone, it also deals with letters. So if you look at this example now, you will discover that this question is combining with letters. So how do we solve something like this? You use the same process, so it doesn't bring any confusion. The same process when you are finding your L.C.M and your H.C.F is the same process we are going to use to find something like this. So either letter is added or letter is not added, you use the same process. So let's try this one and see. Let's find the L.C.M first. So like what we did before, write 10ab, then 14b square, then 18a square b. Now we are going to divide our numbers first before we now come to our letters, so as to make it easier for you. So let's divide by the number first on the L.C.M now. We are talking about the L.C.M first. L.C.M now. So if we are dividing through by the number first, so we divide, let's look for the smallest factor that can divide them through, which is 2. Then 2 in 10, we have 5. You join your letters A, B. Then 2 in 14, 7. 7b square. 2 in 18, 9. 9a square b. Now, if you look at it again, there is no number. We can't find any lesser factor that can divide 5, 7, and 9, except 3. Okay, we can use 3 divided by 9. So let's use 3. 3, we repeat our number since 3 cannot divide it. Then we have 7b square, 3a square b. Then we use 3 again, 5ab, then 7b square. Then 3 divided by 3, we have 1. Then we have a square b. Now we are getting towards the later part. Now we still have 5 and 7 here, which we must divide. So let's use our 5. 5 in this one we have a, b. 5 in 7 impossible, so we write 7b square. Then we write our a square b. So let's divide by 7 so that we know our numbers are true there. 7, we have ab, then we have b square, then we have a square b. Now we are through with the numbers. Now we are back with letters. So we can see a is here, so we can pick a first. Let's go with a first. Then a divided by a, we have b left. Then we have b square here. Then we have ab, because we have 2a here now. We have 2a in this place. So when just like when you have a times a divided by a, so when 1a cancels 1a, you are having 1a left. So a squared divided by a, we have 1a left. So we still have a, then we can still divide it by a again. So a divided by. So like I was saying, since we are still having a here, so we can just divide through by a divided by b, so we say b. A divided by b squared, we have our b squared. A divided by ab, we have b. So what we have there, we have b squared b. So we use our b. B divided by b, 1. B divided by b squared, we have b. Then b divided by b, we have 1. So we still have 1b left. We divide by b. So b divided by 1, 1, 1, 1. So our final answer now will now be 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 7 times a times a times b times b, which equals to what? 2 times 3, 6. 6 times 3, 18. 18 times 5, 90. 90 times 7, that is 630. 8 times 8, 630. A times A square, B times B square. That is our final answer on the L.C.M. Now, let's go for the H.C.F. It's time to get the H.C.F. Now, the H.C.F will be like we did before, 10AB, then 14B square, 18A square B. So we divide it through the same method. So we are dividing it through the same method, not just like we did the L.C.M, but we just have to stop it in any level where we cannot get any number that can divide all the three numbers at the same time. So we can still go with the figures first. So we go with 2 first. 2 in 10, 5 AB. 2 in 14, 7B square. Then 2 in 18, we have 9A square B. Now, if you look at it now, there is no any other number or figure that can divide 5, 7, and 9 without remainder, except 1. So that means in the aspect of the figures now, in the aspect of the numbers, we cannot use any other numbers. So the highest common factor in terms of figure or number now is 2. So no any other value that can be used to divide these numbers now without remainders. No numbers, no factors can divide them all through the 3 values without remainder. So that means in terms of figure now, our work is completed. So now let's now look the letters. So we can see that we have A here. We have, if there is no A here, we have A here. So that means we cannot use A because A is absent in this place. So let's consider the B. We have B here, we have B here, we have B here. So that means we can use B. So we now say B now is 5AB divided by B, we have 5A. Then 7B squared divided by B, we have 7B. When I say 7B squared, I mean 7 times B divided by B. So 1B will go to remain 1. 5AB, 5 times A times B divided by B. 1B goes, 1B goes, so it remains 5A. That's how I got this. And now this one, we have 9 times A times B divided by that B outside. B goes, so we have our 9A square left. So if you look at it again here now, there is no any other letter that can divide them. There is no any other letter that can divide again all through. So that means our highest common factor between these 3 terms is 2 times B, which is 2B. So our H.C.F now, H.C.F will be equal to 2 times B, which is equal to 2B. I hope you understand this one very well. Thank you. I will see you in the next class.